Yao Felix, well, he's going pretty well this year. Some of our younger listeners might remember him from his Chelsea days.
Yeah.
Scored a couple of goals, got sent off and left. I think it was pretty much his very brief Chelsea career.
He seems like, and I don't know much about Yao Felix, but he does seem like he's trouble everywhere he goes.
I don't know if he was trouble at Chelsea. I think Chelsea was just in a bit of disarray, and it wasn't recently.
Yeah, Chelsea was trouble.
But I think if you go back a couple of years, you might remember he was one of the most expensive players in the world at one stage, which the way he's talked about, you might find that hard to believe if you haven't watched him play. But he has undoubted ability, for sure. I think it was one of those club transfers rather than a Simeone transfer. Because they got outrageous money for Griezmann. Went, right, well, we better spend this immediately on someone.
He'll never be back.
On someone just like Griezmann, you know. And I guess they landed on Yao Felix. And I was like, he'll be the creative one around all the defenders and bastards in this team, you know.
Was he in the same summer as the Neymar PSG transfer? Where it just all...
I think that was part of that. It was Neymar to PSG, then Dembele to Barcelona, and Griezmann to Barca. And that was Dembele came from Dortmund. I don't know who. I think Dortmund actually used money pretty well. I think they sound like Jadon Sancho and Jude Bellingham.
It's just pocketed the money.
I think they signed Jude Bellingham, Jadon Sancho, and Erling Haaland. I think it's pretty good business by them.
Pretty good.
Literally the only winners from that Neymar transfer was Borussia Dortmund. But anyhow, he was at Atletico Madrid, not doing too well there. Like you said, he was at Chelsea on loan, and most recently he's at Barca on loan. And obviously, when a lone player is playing against you, because I think in Spain it's a little different. It depends on the contract. You can play against your parent club, but they're asking some of the players, what do you think happened with the Felix Atletico Madrid? What was going on? And they had just kind of really damning characteristic reasons why he didn't work out. Like kind of power of will and determination and stuff like that. I think probably
his brain,
just his heart and his soul probably weren't in it. Just in football, I would say, in winning, maybe. I don't know. Hard to tell with these guys. These are kind of quotes that are coming up before the game. Barcelona won a 0-0. And of course, it was Yao Felix who would score that one goal and celebrate. Did the Jude Bellingham celebration I saw written down this morning, Will, when I was looking up. I was like, okay, that's in now. That's what that is.
He's copyrighted that. Owns that.
So, of course, it's going to make for awkward scenario when Barcelona obviously won't be able to afford to transfer this over. He'll have to go back to the Madrid.
Yeah, he didn't think this one through.
No, after the game, they asked him about it. He said, what was that all about? Yao.
Mr. Yao.
He said, every single week they speak about me. I'm always a topic in the media, but I'm very calm. I don't look at what they say because I'm only working to improve. They asked Diego Simeone about it. They asked him about Yao Felix's intensity during the game. And he said, I don't speak of players from another team.
Oh,
not good. Wowie. Not good.
Not what you want to hear.
I also found an interesting quote from the Atletico Madrid president, Cerezo. Yao has joined Barca on loan. He's playing there and he's one of the best players in Europe. If next year Barca don't want to keep him, he'll be back at Atletico. It's very easy, no? I don't know if that's a threat.
No.
Or is that like, hey, you play well now, but if you don't sign yet, you're back here with us. Pretty simple. There was one more quote from Yao Felix. I want to say thank you to Barca because they welcomed me in the best. They welcomed me in the best way. I'm very happy here, and I hope the Barca make an effort to sign me this summer.
Don't say that.
So as he was doing this interview, I was thinking of, what did I just do? God, I have to get out of Atletico Madrid. That's I'm in trouble. Just on me playing here, I would love to play here more. Please sign me.
Honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama. This is a totally shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
Because he was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all the time.
No problem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will. I was watching the football this week. Where were you?
I was. I was.
Some crack, innit? Watch the football.
It's good, yeah.
Not if you're a Man City fan, of course.
That's hell.
When the whole thing is against you, the cards are set against you at every turn. They want you out. They want a new champion. That's what this is all about. This is on the back of let's be honest, Will, a very, very bad refereeing decision.
Yes, it was.
Nothing to do with VAR, nothing to do with confusion or too many voices or airline traffic controllers. This is just one ref who messed up.
Yeah. In
a big way at a crucial part of the game. But I think we should just accept these decisions, Will. I think we should just move on. These are the voices of Ange Postecoglu celebrating another refereeing decision going his way.
He's back on board.
To be fair, where the referee decisions didn't... you couldn't say they went against him when Romero got sent off because he deserved to get sent off.
Yeah.
As did you doggy. So it's like, you can't really complain. Most managers ignore it. They wouldn't say, no, it's fair enough. So I guess he got punished for that. This time, he was saying... I mean, should we just play the very quick clip of him saying that?
We'll play the clip.
I don't want to misrepresent the man.
Pep was obviously unhappy at the end with the decision the referee seemed to say play on and then blue. Can you understand Pep's anger? You think he may have got away with one?
Yeah, I guess so, mate.
Did you see after the game, Pep said he wasn't going to do an Arteta?
No, he didn't. Did he?
Yeah, I swear to God. Yeah, I'll play the
what
clip.
a snake. What a snake.
Pep, an emotional end to that game. He looked really rather frustrated that the referee decided to blow his whistle and stop Jack Grealish in his tracks.
Next question. I will not do a Mikel Arteta comment, so it's an action. So
do an Arteta. I mean, that's like doing the Bellingham. I mean, that's not right. That's not factually historically correct.
He learned it from you.
You learned it from loads of other people. I mean, you know, it's a thing. He learned it from Henry Kissinger.
Yeah.
Intimidating referees. It's an old German tradition. Yeah. All the things around the game are very interesting, but the game itself was really enjoyable to watch as a neutral.
Yeah. Ange's whole thing of never defending, no matter how much we're losing by, is a joy to watch.
Yeah, it's called standing on business, Will.
Yeah, he's standing on business.
I'm standing on business every week. He backs up what he talks about. And, you know, it's honestly, it's impressive. There's a title right there, Spurs Stand on Business.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this because I've seen, obviously, it's one of the hottest new turn of phrase, sweeping X. And I thought, this is exactly what it is. You know, it's just backing up what you say you're going to do, no matter what the circumstances.
Yeah. Right or wrong, I'm standing by it.
Because they scored in what, 6 minutes with Son?
Something like that, yeah.
And I was like, this is it. The bogey team strikes again.
Yeah.
There's Man City's bogey team, them and Real Madrid. You know. But they've probably beaten Real Madrid, you know, in terms of games played versus wins. They probably have more against Real Madrid versus they have against Tottenham Hotspur.
They swept Madrid in the Champions League last year, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of that one game they should have definitely won, but they didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, they seem to have an issue playing with the Spurs home or away.
No matter what the manager or players.
It could be Gareth Bale. It could be Heung-min Son, you know, and this time it was Son, and I was like, well, this is going to happen again. This is going to be another famous win for Tottenham Hotspur. But then they conceded very quickly after that, and then they were playing like Ange Postecoglu Spurs, just all action, passing up simple passes, turning back into midfield as Basuma did, lost the ball, and then sweepy motion. Goal was in 2-1. I think, well, that's it. That's the game. Because City won't lose from here. You know, and that's, I mean, Carragher and Neville were cooking up all these kind of narratives throughout the game and before the game. Before the game, they're talking about, you know, it's naive and it's actually irresponsible to play the way they do. If, you know, it's irresponsible to stand on business. Is that what we're saying? You gotta react to the situation. And then during the game, like, they're getting complacent to City. They think I've won. Carragher started asking Neville about all the leagues he won. It's like, did you feel that, like, you know, these games didn't matter? Like, imagine the Sky Sports producers like, what the hell are they doing out there? What are they saying? These games, and he's like, yeah, really, we felt like the title season started like March, April. Like, what?
Don't say that.
Cut his mic. Like, so they're basically saying that, oh well, this is just Man City. They're walking at this moment, but in March, April, that's when they'll kick off, which I guess we've been saying for a while as well. But they kept saying they're being complacent, the intensity's gone, and then of course Spurs came back into it. But I think it was just like that's what they were calling for before the game. It was like you're 2-1 up, hold the ball, catch them on the break, they'll leave gaps, and they did that a couple of times, and they missed some of the chances essentially. Yeah, like that was exactly what they would have been saying before the game. Change your style based on what's happening. It's 2-1 up. This team leaves massive gaps, and they don't defend very well, and they're missing defenders. Sit back, 2-1. We hit them on the break. I mean, the goal that they scored for the second equaliser, Lo Celso's equaliser, was just a weird one where Tottenham were pressing, and then they lost the ball, of course. Yeah. And City were halfway between changing from attack to defense, and they played up to Haaland, and then Davis just like got in front of him. And it wasn't like, from being like lazy from Haaland or complacent. It was just a tackle. It was Davis just made an extra effort in that moment and headed it back, and it fortunately landed the Son. It wasn't like he got ahead and pushed him off, and Haaland's like, it's fine. It just something happened in football, Yeah. Came to Son, came to Celso, Son dragged two players away, he opened up, and it was a goal. I was like, yeah, it can happen. But it was all this complacency. It honestly drives you mad. Listen to Carragher Neville start these kind of podcasts in the middle of the game. It's just like, just let me watch the game. Stop putting these ideas out there. Then I don't know. But
as if it's all like nothing ever comes down to skill or luck or anything. It's all mentalities and predetermined actions.
There has to be an absolute narrative after coming from this game. Such and such is the best player in the world. This is where this team is at now, man. It's like it was a game of luck and sport, and
and it's like Heung-min Son scored because he's a good player.
Lo Celso was also a good player. Kulusevski, also a very good player. It was an unbelievable goal. The leap from behind, it happens. You play a team you can attack well. Your striker Haaland has a bit of an off day. Yeah, you draw the game against a good team. Like that's what happened. There's nothing else needs to be kind of like in terms of like greater narrative or where's City or where's this league Pep. Is it the allegations? Is the 115 charges weighing on the teams? Like no, like they don't care.
They won the treble with the master.
Like it really, there's all has to be this kind of thing. And then of course the decision at the end, which we're talking about, Spurs were kind of going back and forth. And when City attacked, Spurs seemed a lot more ragged. Because when City let them have the ball, they could pass around and trying to find a gap. But when City were attacking, Spurs would say, well, I guess it's our turn to attack now. Well, we'll attack full force and we'll leave it. There's one moment where Emerson Royal got the ball. He was playing centre back. And I think it was Pedro Porro who came over to take it, the right back. And so determined he was to take the throw quickly. Emerson Royal threw the ball over Pedro Porro from the throw. And they pinged around like two players and they lost. It was like, I think Carragher was like, that was a mad throw from your centre back when you're like 2-1 down. But yeah, it was a great game to watch. But the decision.
Yeah.
They won the ball. Haaland was kicked, but he kept going, which I love to see. But he got advantage first. He plays the ball forward to Jack Grealish in a good bit of space. If you look at the wide outzoom, Vicario I think it was Vicario who came and then started to run back, like very clear sign, like, oh no, I'm caught here in no man's land. Not really sure my goal is anymore. Grealish was through. Now, would he finish it? We don't know because the whistle blew again. Advantage was now over. The referee called it back. And
he said, stop it, actually.
Yeah, it was very strange. They had the zoom ins of like, as Jack Grealish was away and then he blew the whistle. It's like, what was he looking at that he thought the advantage was gone,
I'm assuming he thought Grealish was offside, maybe. And so he's like, there we go. He'll put his flag up. And then he didn't. I mean, you can't go back on that.
Yeah, would it be the case if he was offside and then there was an offside called, would he then have been allowed to call back for advantage, or would there been a new save point in the game from the offside?
I wonder, was he thinking, I'll save the whole thing of the offside flag and then bringing it back. I'll just bring it back for the foul now. And then he very quickly realised, That's my guess anyway. I have no idea why you did.
Yeah, it does seem like you're thinking 3 steps ahead very quickly, and then you blow the whistle and you went, oh yeah, no, he was actually through there. Because you kind of ignore that thinking, he's probably offside here. It's like, he might be offside, but he's also through. Like, you should let that develop. I think they'll be happy with that. But
it reminded me of that free kick was it Brighton scored, where we have it in the intro with Jeff Stelling freaking out about it, where the ref blew the whistle. As soon as he kicked the ball, he blew the whistle again. It went in. He went, take the free again.
yeah. You're trying to plan out the game before it happens almost, and then it's happening so fast. You blow the whistle again, and you go, oh no, that's actually better for them to be advantage rather than the free kick here. Sorry, lads.
And like it is tough because that's the whole thing is he's trying to read the game.
Yeah,
but to do that you also have to. Like, you can't. It's impossible. That's why they have a team of referees to help you along.
Yeah, honestly, it was just a mistake. It was a brain fart, and I mean, I've never seen this kind of thing before, though. This is happening, and then Haaland's coming over with his eyes bulging over his genuinely
cartoon character, like
he looked mad. He comes over, everyone's like complaining to the ref and shouting at the ref. And then the Man City fans start chanting, cheat, 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 cheat. I mean, I couldn't believe this. This is like just absolutely brazen by the City fans. Like, that, they're going to lose, or they're going to lose 2 points here, draw 3-3, and like something has to be done. And they're shouting, I guess, the players or the owners to cheat more, or do more cheating, cheat. And
we need more money.
We need to sign more underage players, and we need to, more dodgy stuff. I'd give 10 more charges, put on the bill. I couldn't believe shouting at the fans to cheat, shouting at the players to cheat. Unbelievable.
It was amazing timing as well, because coming into the game, Pep Guardiola gave a weird warning almost to the Man City fans. I have a quote here. He said, "We won a lot, and in the future, understand this is an exception. It's not normal to win the treble, 5 Premier Leagues in 6 years. Continue to enjoy, but when the bad moments are coming this season or next, you have to be there."
Yeah.
So very much sounds like, enjoy it while it lasts, boys. Something big is coming.
I think you were just talking to Ange Postecoglu before the game, and he's right. We should just enjoy every moment. Forget these 5-year plans of mine. Just enjoy it, mate. Yeah, well, it's true though. I mean, even at United's peak, Arsenal won the league that year, and then Chelsea won 2 leagues after that. For a United fan who'd won the previous 2 and all through the 90s, a 3-year gap of not winning, and you're finished, lads. Chelsea are in town; they have endless money. Did you go through things as fans of successful clubs where you think, oh God, is it over? Are we finished? Is there a new team now better than us? When Newcastle eventually come and win the league with Yao Felix or whoever, you'll be looking at City now what? Now there's the other rich team not so good anymore. There will come a time where they won't win every single league. So it's just, I think, maybe a warning at that, but they have set a date. They've saved the date for the Chargers.
Yes. I think it's September 2025, 2026. It's if you find it hard to remember the date, it coincides exactly with when Pep said he's going to let his contract expire a few months ago.
Oh, I thought you were going to say with your wedding.
No.
And you're all invited.
I don't think I need to be announcing a date for the podcast.
We have a watch party for the Chargers on day 2 of the wedding, and you're all invited to that. Yeah. I mean, he has been there since 2018?
Yeah, around that.
The longest he's been in any club.
Yeah.
But I think, as you eloquently put it, they stomp league every year and no one watches. It's a perfect situation. The pressure under at Barca or Bayern Munich, anytime you lose a game, it's what was the thought process there, Pep? About what? We lost the game, get off my back. You just don't get that kind of scrutiny as City, because it's still not that level of this is amazing. I'm just so happy to be here. We're in the Champions Leagues. I mean, what more do you want? You lose a game, you draw a game. It's hey, I trust the guy.
Yeah, and also it's if you lose, people are quick to forgive. And also everyone's distracted by what's going on at Man United, what's going on at Chelsea. You're way down on the list of the crisis they're worried about.
And it's not even a dig, but like at say Barcelona or Man United or Bayern Munich, they have like, you know, Man United journalists or Bayern Munich journalists that they only covered. I don't care what Dortmund do. I really don't.
Yeah, it's crisis watch every week.
I want to find out, you know, the juicy stuff between, you know, you and the players, and like, what's this story with this new doctor? I heard he didn't do very good at Werder Bremen. You know, it's like, like, you know, this kind of like minute detail that you're scrutinized over. You just don't have that at City yet. So it's a great situation, you know. But I don't know where he'd go next. I mean, the Spain national team, maybe. If a team's good, he'll go. Maybe
some big money Saudi job or something.
He does like money.
He loves it. He loves money.
Don't we all? And he well, I think the biggest thing, he doesn't have any kind of moral objections to it.
Speaking of money, after the incident, like we said, Haaland and all the City players went screaming at the referee. As Premier League players are wont to do.
Yeah.
And they've been charged for failing to control their players after surrounding Simon Hooper yesterday. Their third incident in 12 months, so hefty fine likely. No punishment for Haaland tweet, because after the game, Haaland immediately, like 5 seconds after the game, put up a clip on Twitter and said, WTF. Did you see what he tweeted the day after, which was very funny?
No.
So there's been lots of memes of his like angry face put on things, and he retweeted one of them and he said, WTF, this is the first thing to make me laugh all day. Did you notice? He said WTF again. So it seems like he just says that all the time.
Well, in Norway, that means why the face.
Yeah.
So he was looking at his own face. Why the face, Harold? What am I doing out there? What am I like? You know, that's what he was doing. So then he just says, again, why the face? It's like, well, again, if I was his solicitor, that's what I was saying, Will.
Exactly.
But yeah, I guess I was right again. City had a very tough run.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember
actually.
that?
Yeah, the run. It happened.
Their third score draw in a row. And they Aston Villa next. No Rodri, no Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish scored for the first time in a long time, and I saw lots of stats about the amount of goals he's scored in his career, which is actually shockingly low.
Yeah, he's not a goal scorer. He's not a volume of score by any stretch of imagination, no.
But it was just mad to see it spelled out in that, like, his near, I don't know how long he's playing, 8 years, 9 years now?
Yeah. I saw Doku was on initially, and he was you know, he was getting his chef's hat on again, Will.
Yeah, he's heating up. He
had one off the crossbar, and he went off injured. But he was cutting inside, putting the ball to the back post. Jack Grealish came on and put the ball to the back post. And immediately, again, I had to go on about Carragher, but like, that's the thing that Grealish offers different from Doku. It's like, Doku did the exact same thing. Like, he literally did the exact same type of player. They go fast, they cut inside, and then he put one ball. Like, yeah, that's different. Like, you could get 3 examples from this half football that Doku did. I mean, it's just like this pushing of English players. Like, it's incredible, but it never ends, you know. I don't know that they're doing it consciously, but it's just like they see an English player go, yeah, he is a bit better, isn't he? Just like a little bit, something more. It's like, what?
Something about him.
I think he's just got that extra bit of quality, you know. It's like, okay, right. And that would feel like he did score, but I mean, I think Doku would have finished that too. I don't know. We'll never know. But yeah, City after this disastrous run of fixtures are 2 points off the top, 3 points off the top.
Yeah,
same as everyone else. Apparently, it's all very tight up there. Tottenham are they back in it now, Will? In your opinion?
I don't think so, because I don't think the mad, free-flowing, lots of goals football is actually sustainable especially for like winning a league.
Yeah.
I think they've got. Let me look it up. They've got very little points in their last few games, even though they've got a lot of good results.
Yeah. Pierre Drury had the stat during the game. Did you hear that?
Which was that?
There was that. If they had lost this game, they would have been the first team since 71-72 Sheffield United to go unbeaten in the first 10 games and lose the next 4.
That's a good stat.
I was like, how did you find that?
Fair play, Pierre Drury.
He's still in the first 6 months of the job. He's still in probation. He's like doing way too much to try and, you know, show the bosses that he wants to be there, you know. Give it a year and he'll be phoned in just like the rest of us. But right now he's still that like over-eager kind of intern phase. I was like, what a stat. Fucking hell. Like, he either remembers that or looked it up. But either way, it's very impressive.
I saw a clip actually of the Gary Neville podcast, which is the one he's been doing, where they just stick a mic in front of him up in the gantry after the game and then just slap it online without any editing. But I noticed when Martin Tyler used to do it, Martin Tyler would ask Gary Neville a question at the start. He'd let him speak for 10 minutes. That was the podcast.
Yeah.
Peter Drury was interjecting with his own thoughts. And
nice.
I thought, that's not what you're here for, man.
Again, it's like Martin Tyler had tenure there, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
He eventually got forced out by the mob. But I mean, like, he didn't have to do anything. He's like, I got to gauge. I could just sit here and ask one question, go, all right, Gary. Well, that's the Gary Neville podcast. Like that podcast literally was like after work. You know what I mean? But you know, they're up in the gantry, and I said, "Okay, what do you think, Gary?" And Gary gives his unfiltered thoughts. And I go, "Okay." And
7 minutes. Upload it to Spotify.
7 minutes. Is that good or bad, Gary? Another question. Another 7 or 8 minutes. And is that your final thoughts on it? And then 3 more minutes. Okay, and then that's it. He used to say 3 things in it. Just set him up, and then Gary would knock them down. So
Peter Drury had his own thoughts and opinions to share, and I thought, don't bother, pal. Don't put in the effort. You're not getting paid for the podcast. Definitely not.
Yeah, I'd say Gary Neville has some amount of sources of income coming in.
Oh, I was thinking that the other day. He's got, you see him everywhere, which everyone talks about.
Yeah.
But each one of those things is a different brand.
Yeah. He has, obviously, the Sky Sports contract, which I'm sure encapsulates the podcast.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he got a bit of bump in his wages for that. It's just more work, you know.
Yeah.
And then he has the Stick to Football podcast with...
he started his own podcast instead of the Overlap, so he could have 2 podcasts. 3.
Yeah. Is he still doing the Overlap?
I think so. Maybe it's been replaced by Stick to Football.
I feel like Stick to Football was his own thing because he was talking about politics, and then the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, told him to stick to football. Which is a classic thing to say about like influential sports people. Like, well, what do they know? They're just sports people. So then he started the podcast Stick to Football in his thing, where he talked about football. I thought he talked about politics, but I guess he's...
No, he has footballers on to talk about football.
Oh yeah, Richard, like, watch this. I will, and make a lot
Gary
more
Neville
money.
and Roy Keane talking about Man United. That'll show you.
Richard said, well, good. I'm glad you listened to what I said. He doubled down on what he's doing. There was a lot of other good games that went on the weekend. Burnley hammered Sheffield United. I don't know if that's some old championship beef or something. 5-0 seems a bit excessive.
You might think losing 5-0 to Burnley is not a good sign, and you're correct, because they immediately sacked their manager.
Yeah, Paul Heckingbottom first to go.
Yep.
Stark contrast to last year where we had like 3 gone the first month.
Yeah.
He lasted all the way to December, which is pretty good for Premier League standards.
It doesn't even seem like much people are on the chopping block this season.
No, a lot of acceptance going on this year. You know, this is where we're at. Also, it's quite close to the top still, so it's still kind of, okay, let's see how this one plays out. You know, if we lose the next 3, we're out.
You win 3 games on the hop, you're way up there. You lose 3 games, you're in the relegation zone.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's fairly settled at the moment. The well-run clubs are doing okay, or maybe not doing that well. Like, you know, West Ham, Brighton, they're 9th and 10th. They might want to be a bit higher, but they're not the kind of clubs that are like, get them out, get someone else in.
Yeah.
They know when they have a good thing going. Chelsea are obviously in a full rebuild as well, so they're kind of happy enough to be down there. Because like, listen, we have Pochettino. Let's not think we can be better than we are right now. Tom Frank isn't going anywhere. Roy Hodgson isn't going anywhere. Wolves are probably fairly happy where they are as well.
They've been getting their arses handed to them by the PGMOL all season, so they don't know what's really going on with the team.
But they had some good wins on Gary Neal as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's not the end of the world. I think all and then the Lutons, Everton, obviously Sean Dyche, they're sticking with Dyche, and they had the Chargers. So it's been a strange enough season where everyone's kind of okay placed, and if you're not, the clubs are like patient clubs. So it's just Sheffield are bottom, so the bottom team sacked the manager. That's I think pretty fair enough. Man United, they lost to that man, Will.
Yep.
Anthony, next Premier League winner, Gordon.
Yep. Goal scored. He looked great in that game. Everyone looked great for Newcastle in that game, unfortunately.
Yeah. It was very similar to the Everton game, where there were a lot of chances for Everton. Couldn't score. But Man United I guess they managed to just will the way into the game, you know, stayed in the game long enough and got those goals. This week, they couldn't score.
United were. This is the worst I've seen them in a long. Now I've seen them get hammered 5-0 and 7-0.
Yeah,
but this is the worst. I think I saw them over Ten Hag in like a full 90 minutes, where it just looked like we're never going to score. We're hanging on for dear life. Like Newcastle are fucking running them off the pitch, playing them off the pitch. It was not good.
Yeah. It feels like we have talked Martial back into the team.
Yeah. And I think he had one tantrum too many and he's probably gone now. He had a bit of a tiff with Ten Hag on the pitch.
This time for good, unless Ten Hag gets sacked again.
Do you want to know a mad fact that I looked up? Because like watching Martial have another stinker all these years later, I had to look it up. He's 3 years away from a testimonial.
He's been there 7 years.
Yeah, he's been there 7 years.
I don't think he'll last it, to be honest.
I don't know, because I don't know who's going to buy him, and I don't know when his contract is up.
There's plenty of Saudi teams out there, Will. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that is true. I forgot there's new kids on the block, yeah. That could really come in handy for Man United in January and the summer. Varane and Casemiro are still big names that might come in handy.
Yeah, I mean, it was great for offloading players you didn't want, or deadwood, or players you passed it, whatever you want to call it. But when you looked at Martial, and you probably thought, like, he's not past it, first of all.
Yeah.
He does have ability. He's fit. If you can get it out of him, there's a player there. But it's just...
And many men have tried.
Better men than Ten Hag have tried, and it's not going to happen for him.
Yeah,
I think he's very similar to Rashford in that, like, he wants to play out in the right, like being up front and doing that Haaland role. I mean, Jesus gets to come under a lot of abuse for, like, not scoring goals. Like, he does his hold up play for a small man. Like, he gets a lot of he goes with a lot of pressure as a small man, hold the ball up, like knees in the arse, knees in the back of the leg, elbows in the back. Like, that's what you get. No one likes that. No one wants to be that player, and hold up, and then just to pass off to the wide man who scores, and then you get nothing for it. It's a bit thankless, but it's such an important part. I don't think he wants to do that. I think he'd rather coming off the wing or facing the goal and scoring that way. But I mean, he just doesn't want to do the hold up play. Like Haaland's quite good as well, but he's a very big man. But if when you're a smaller player, it's a lot more work. It's a lot more punishment as well.
Roy Keane put it well.
We've mentioned Martial. I know he's an easy target. But the first 2 touches Martial got last night, we'll forgive Martial the fact he scores a goal every 14 years. I'll actually forgive a player for that. But let me tell you, when we're up at Newcastle and we're under pressure and we put the ball into you, you better get hold of that ball just to get us up the pitch, get a bit of breathing space, maybe win a free kick. And he's touching balls up and just giving away cheaply. You're like, you might as well go down the leagues. Man United were trying to get rid of him a few years ago. Defensively, they're all over the shop. Midfielders, they seem like a load of strangers.
We'd forgive him for every 14 years.
Yeah, a bit of a hyperbole there, never to stray. But I mean, he's only been there 7, so. But it does feel like a lot. Like, I think he was playing under Louis van Gaal.
Yes, Van Gaal brought him in.
That was a lifetime ago, man. That was we were different people back then. Like he's still around, still doing the same stroppy shit. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, like
he had a loan to Sevilla. Remember that?
Once you go on loan, that's it. Like, you're done.
Yeah.
You've been signed for big money. They have a song about what a waste of money you were, ironically. And then you go on loan. You're not getting back the team from there,
It's going to be bad if they start singing that unironically at him.
That would be a real turn up. Yeah. This is the thing. He didn't have a great game, but the whole team wasn't didn't play well, to the point where I saw people saying the only good player out on that pitch is Harry Maguire. And I was like, wow, this is crazy.
I actually thought that too. He had a great game. There was one moment where I think a corner came in, he headed it away, landed at a Newcastle player's foot, he blocked that, bounced to someone else, he blocked that, and then cleared it. And it's like, who is this man? Why is he suddenly switched it on when everyone else has switched it off?
That's what leaders do, Will.
Yeah, but where was this leader last year?
No, do you know what? I've heard this lots of times about different defenders. Most notably, I think of Smalling. Well, like, Smalling was like obviously athletic and good, and he could do all the things, but just had bad games for Man United.
Yeah.
And I think it was Paul Merson who's like, you put him playing for Fulham, because he came from Fulham, put him playing back there, he's amazing because, they're under pressure all the time. He's getting up, he's heading it, he's athletic, he's got loads of energy. He can do that all day long. But when you're standing the halfway line and you're trying to judge offside lines, trying to get back, and you're trying to just defend without tackling and knock a dribble past, it's a completely different set of skills for a defender. I think that's where Harry Maguire falls under. Like, he was excellent at Leicester because, as good as they were, that Leicester team, they were under pressure a lot too. And he was back defending and he was, heading balls away. He had all energy to do that. But like, when you're standing the halfway line and it's, players run at you, if it's Salah run at you or whatever it is, like it's a lot harder. So, I mean, when they're under pressure now, like I say, whenever that's playing badly and they're Everton are trying to knock down the door at you, like Everton and Newcastle trying to like put you under pressure, that's when he comes into his own. But it's when you have the ball and you're playing well, that's when you get caught with Harry Maguire. So yeah, this is why I thought that he wasn't going to ever play for Man United again, because I thought Man United got this level when they signed Casemiro and with Bruno Fernandes playing well. I was like, okay, well now they're at this level now where they're not going to go back to this like defending for the whole game, which is crazy for Man United to do with the money they spent. But they have, and that's why he's back in the team and playing well. But it's not looking good for Man United. It's not looking good for many players there. Even, I like to say, Harry Maguire, it's like, well, you've proven that you can do what you did before, where you haven't proven the thing that people said you couldn't do. So
it's especially bad. Like I said, this is one of the worst games I've seen under Ten Hag. Not because United were bad, which I've seen lots of times, but because they literally did come across as like not arsed and lazy, and that's always the first. The first siren is now officially going off, I think, of they want a new fella in charge. This was one training session too many or something. It feels like ever since the Sancho thing, half the team is kind of split away from Ten Hag.
Yeah. He's lost trust in him. That's that's what people are saying, Will.
That's the word on the streets.
And he's come out and said those people are liars.
Yes, to the point where he's banned Manchester Evening News and someone else, another journalist, from Man United press conferences going forward.
Yeah, you can't just make shit up,
Yeah, and if it's true they're making it up, then fair enough. But if they're not making it up,
Yeah, I mean, if you're banning journalists, it is also not a bad sign. It's a bad move because they are the ones who will make shit up and they have the power to do it.
They literally inform the public's opinion of you and the club. They're still going to write the articles, whether they're there or not.
Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like journalists being banned.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was Boris Johnson over COVID or whatever. He banned a couple of journalists from press conferences for like stuff that actually happened. It wasn't even denying. It's like, I didn't say it wasn't true. I'm saying you're banned,
Yeah, you shouldn't have said that about me.
And I think then the rest of the journalists didn't go into the press conferences. I was so they're like, no, fuck this guy. You can't just kick us out for no reason, So he's not Prime Minister anymore. That was a sign of it all coming down. Okay, just ban them, outright ban them. It's like, I don't know if you can do that. It's like, just do it, all right? It's like, that's a bad move, So if it's not true, it's like you're losing it. You really are losing it. Yeah. He's lost just now he's losing the press. His days are numbered. I'd be surprised if he's there past Christmas. Because of Man United, I'd say he might even get sacked on Christmas Day.
Yeah. In a big present that they deliver to him.
Maybe the day before.
Yeah.
The last day of work before Christmas, maybe. I don't know.
It's not looking good because, again, they're playing Chelsea this week.
Yeah.
And then they're playing Liverpool, I think it's next weekend. And I think every Man United fan on the planet has never felt fear like the fear of going into this Liverpool game. What they did the last time, what they've done the last 3 times.
It was a freak. It was a freak game. It doesn't matter. It doesn't count.
And I think they've scored something like 15 goals against us in the last 3 games. We've scored 1 maybe, if even. And I think we're worse than ever now.
Yeah, Liverpool are actually starting to go well.
And they need to win to fight for the league. Last year it didn't even matter to them.
Yeah. Oh, it always matters. Believe you me. It's a strange one, because if I don't know about Christmas there, sacking on Christmas Day, but honestly, it'd be the worst time to do it because it's such a busy period. You don't really want that kind of upheaval. You could lose 10 more points over the Christmas period if you do that. So, is it now? Do before the Christmas, get someone in,
This is the thing. And as well with the never-ending, change at the board, the sale, and they're bringing directors of football and stuff. Do they want to be coming in? Like, do you want to be like, okay, make a drastic change now before they're even here? Surely they're thinking, let them sort it out when they get in, but by then it could be too late. The team could be totally fucked.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, when they're selling the club, I forgot about that. That you're not going to bother with that kind of managerial issues, are you?
They've got bigger fish to fry.
We're trying to make billions of euro here. I really don't care if I ever did about Man United.
Oh no, we're going to come 7th.
If we lose Liverpool, I'll kill myself. That's what Joel Glazer's thinking right now. Come on.
You may wonder what's next for them.
Yeah.
What could possibly be done? Someone has a plan. Thank God, someone out there has a plan of how to fix things.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, disgraced pundit Richard Keys had this to say.
That's not so good.
And at the start of the day, Yorkie was very calm, and by the end of the programme, had got quite irritated by what he'd seen at Newcastle. Had a conversation with a friend of mine today who made the very reasonable point that for 10 years, every 18 months, we're having this same conversation. Mm-hmm. So what is the answer to what has happened at Manchester United? I thought about that a lot, and here is my theory.
Go on.
Or maybe indeed an answer for Manchester United.
So if you were given the chief job there, what would you do then?
Right now?
Yes.
I would thank the current coach for his time.
Yes.
If I couldn't go out and get my target immediately, I would then be treading water until I can. But the man that I think Manchester United should go, we said yesterday, United are no longer in a position whereby if top players become available, they're going to sign for United. They're just not. They're just not going to sign for Manchester United anymore. They can't go out and do what they once did, which was sign everybody else's best player, just because it weakened the opposition and they could maybe put them in amongst a squad of 22 for a little while and hope perhaps they had something to contribute. In my view, Manchester United should go now to Leverkusen and they should say to Xabi Alonso,
no chance.
We want you to come to Old Trafford. We will give you Saudi League money and we will guarantee you 5 years, which Fergie had when he first went to Manchester United. Whatever else happens, you've got 5 years to sort this out for us. And he for me, is the individual, the coach, the person that might just be able to get something going.
He wouldn't go there.
Why wouldn't he go there?
Crazy. That's
5 years. So there's a few points there. One, why is Richard Keys giving his opinion instead of the 3 football pundits?
This is new Richard Keys.
Yeah.
I think the older Keys used to do that as well. Like that famous clip of him talking to Ron Atkinson.
Yeah.
Where he's like, well, Andy's just said this, and there's a great clip of Andy Gray recalling the event, saying, Andy said what? I never said that, but he used to use this, like, well, Andy just said this, that he had a bad game, whatever, and he made up his own opinion. So he's always done this, but I mean, I think he's a lot freer to do it just openly. He doesn't have to pretend that. Well, he did say, I was talking to a friend of mine. I was like, no, you weren't. You just
not true.
No,
I'm thinking about this a lot.
Yeah, that you just say that. You just say you're thinking about football a lot. Probably before you're writing your blog, I know you got to say it on the air. You don't say, I was talking to a friend. A friend brought up. I wasn't talking about it. Like, yeah, all right. So he does a little bit of those old habits of like throwing other people out there to cover his own opinions. But yeah, that's a mad
5 years. 5 years guaranteed to Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
So immediately, Liverpool legend not going to come. Also, not going to happen. Guarantee, lock a man in for 5 years and make him the highest paid manager in the world. What could possibly go wrong?
I mean, Ten Hag's a good manager. Like he was good at Ajax. It's clearly not about the management. Like honest to God, I was actually thinking about this. Will, I wasn't talking to anybody. I was thinking about this on my own. Right?
Crazy.
That like Pep Guardiola is an innovator and he's a great tactician, a great manager. But no more so than Roberto De Zerbi, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you put Pep as someone like at Brighton, he would do amazing things like that at Brighton. He would get them higher than they should be. But eventually, when you got players that are injured, they would fall on the table because you don't have, like, the game that just went by. Doku was playing excellently, really causing trouble. Dove marked again, gets injured. Oh no, one of our most attacking best players that we just signed for big money has gone off injured. That might be the difference in this game. Brought on Jack Grealish. who was last year's or 2 years ago's biggest signing. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. To say this is the time to bring on Jack Grealish and I've coached him in a certain way, but like, to have the two of them on your squad makes a difference. You know, and that comes from obviously the money, but also the way that the club is structured, that you can build this team. It's not this kind of like, oh, I'm not sure that, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so to say that Xabi Alonso is going to come in and fix it all, it's like, there's so many other problems from the top to the bottom. It doesn't matter who's there, really. It's a holistic thing. If the whole, from the top down, it needs to be a fluid kind of a club that works together and has the main interest is benefiting the team. And the idea being that, like, if the team does well, the financial side come afterwards. You know, that's what it should be like. But, you know,
you do see the memes and people like get on to Gary Neville for it a lot as well, of like, after a bad result, they like get the Norwich scarves out, or the immediate like, oh, is it the Glazers' fault no one was marking the back post? It's like,
yeah.
Technically, no, but in the grand scheme of things, yes, because the best player they have available is making mistakes like that, and also they don't have the facilities to make players stop making mistakes like that to the level City do, like on the training grounds and all that thing.
Yeah, it's very kind of like childish to point that out. You know, like, oh, is that because like it's a whole thing. You know, so one person coming in for 5 years understudy money, it's a ridiculous solution to the problem. That like
it's the worst possible solution. Also, he said 5-year guarantee because Fergie had that. No, he didn't. That's not true at all. Fergie was famously almost sacked before he won the FA Cup.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't a guarantee, but he had 5 years like Fergie had. It wasn't guaranteed. He was on the very end of that 5 years.
After 5 years.
Yeah, he's like a Richard Keys. You know, what can you say? But,
yeah, exactly. I couldn't believe that. Also, you might have heard someone loudly disagreeing in the background. That was Jason McAteer, who just after that clip.
I thought it was. I thought it was a Skippers accent, yeah.
Because he goes, no chance. And then Richard Keys is like, why not? And McAteer just bluntly goes, he wouldn't go there. So done. Your plan is over.
Yeah, your terrible plan won't come to fruition because he wouldn't even go there. Yeah. He's been linked to like Real Madrid after Carlo Ancelotti. I might go to Man United and coach Anthony Martial, see if I can get some out of him. You know, like
I might go to like the worst run big club in the world rather than all of the amazing clubs lined up.
I suppose talking about that, Will, but kind of football and the whole like the City model of everything is perfect and everything is tracked. I think that's where football is now. Like it's very, 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 very professional. You know, the last detail is analysed and tracked and improved. And there's nothing that can't be like, you know, monitored and analysed, you know, and everything's very black and white. And even with the VAR stuff, this is the final frontier. Let's make this black and white as well. Let's like guarantee this as well. Let's just make sure that the decisions are always right as well as everything else being perfect. And it just can't be done so far anyways. And because of this whole, like say, push to make everything like black and white, I think there's been a counter push from the fans to make things more intangible.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about cooking a couple weeks ago. I mean, we talk cooking all the time. Every time we talk about Doku, it's talk about Chef Doku. Because
it's what he does.
It's just because it's very vague, you know?
It's easier to say that.
Don't give me his goals and assists. I don't want to see his XG and I don't want to see any of that shit. I just don't know that he is getting cooked by my player who is cooking. And that's a fact. You know, and that's easier. That's much more fun to do than saying, well, you know, if you look at the his goal contributions or his forward passes, like, oh,
shut up,
stop with that. And even there, you said like big club. That that's one of my pet peeves. Big club.
Yeah.
It's so vague. Is it like this, like the physical size of the club? Is it how many members are in the club? Is it like, you know, it can be whatever you want it to be. And anytime someone talks about being a big club, you haven't won anything worth shouting about in the last 2 years. Because if you have, you'll be talking about that. You're talking about the league won last year. And especially with City just dominating for the last, you know, how many years, that has pushed the kind of more, you know, intangibles that you can count as wins for your team. And the latest one I've seen, Will, is Aura.
Yeah.
You know what Aura is?
Yeah, the general kind of, you know... It's hard to put into words.
Exactly. It's hard to quantify. You know, man, the aura this brother has, you know, it's like...
yeah.
And it can be for a lot of things. Like a lot of his teams, like the Liverpool team, I think they were showing like the 2019 team, and it was like mad the aura this team has. Every one of these players is world class.
Yeah, Van Dijk's aura.
Aura defending. It wasn't dribble pass because it was aura. This kind of bollocks, to be honest. Yeah. And then it was just like, then you can be used negatively as well. Like Kevin De Bruyne was at some F1 game. He was like, Kevin De Bruyne will be back in December. And then someone was like, this man has zero aura, like, which then of course people are like, what? Well, good thing aura doesn't fucking matter. He has most goals assisted last, and then people go down the statistical route then when it's the same thing. It's like, if you have the stats backed up, you'll throw the stats in their face. If you don't have the stats, like, it's just vibes and aura, like you just can't quantify what he does, the aura around Van Dijk is getting stronger as the defending gets worse, maybe you haven't seen it. Maybe this is completely new bullshit to you, but I've seen it a lot recently.
No, I haven't seen it, yeah. I've been seeing nothing has aura like the gravitational pull of a Starboy as well. A Starboy's aura is key.
Starboys need aura. Garnacho has unmatched aura.
Unbelievable aura.
Immaculate aura around Starboy Garnacho. Saka doesn't have aura. No chance. No. Yes, he does. Look at this. This is aura. People are getting pressed.
Hell take. This is aura.
People are getting pressed and standing on business about aura on X. That's what's happening all week in my life.
It sounds like the fucking Baby Gronk.
Yeah. Getting rizzed up by Baby Gronk's aura. So just on this, Will, right? In case people at home haven't really got it yet, I've compiled a list of football things, and I want you to give me dub aura or L aura on these things.
Oh, very good. This is going to do huge numbers.
She said she feel my aura. She see me smile, but she don't know about the trauma. All them nights when we were jogging on the corner. All the mileage that we did before the tour bus. They didn't care when we were broke, they try ignore us. I switched up, dripped up, I put my feet down. Brody bringing all the...
So random list of football things, Will. Starting off with Italy's 2020 Euro team. Aura or no aura?
Aura, definitely aura.
Yeah, the suits.
W aura.
W aura. They definitely had aura. The suits coming in, those great suits, all those Italian players, all the hand gestures in the
coming
final.
Rome.
It's coming, yeah. Unmatched aura, really, I would say.
Yeah.
The Stade de France.
L aura, no aura.
I've never gotten aura from Stade de France. I've never seen it. Oh, wow, this is huge. This is...
Yeah, no.
Vinicius Jr.
Ooh.
Tough one.
Mid aura.
Mid, yeah. I wouldn't say he has he's an unbelievable player. All these things are like successful things. I don't know if you noticed yet. They're all successful things in their own right.
Yeah.
But does he have, I don't think he has an aura. I think he's an unbelievable player, but
mid
aura. Because he is good. He is bloody good. Claudio Ranieri. Interesting one.
Because he undoubtedly had some aura.
Yeah.
But El Riz,
some aura, great vibes, immaculate vibes.
Yeah, immaculate vibes.
He's more of a vibe guy than an aura guy, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Bayern Munich 2013, Will, treble winners.
Yeah, aura. Definite aura, I would say.
I don't know. I mean, they lost that 2012 team. A team with aura doesn't lose 2012 to that Chelsea team.
It's true.
They won the treble the next year, but I don't know. A great team. Some players had aura. Overall, as a collective, was there a collective aura in that Bayern Munich team?
Maybe not collective aura, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe mid aura.
Yeah, mid aura. Rank it in the mid tier.
Okay, here's one. Zidane.
Oh, W aura.
Yeah.
The longer time goes on, the aura grows.
Because some of us, like, these are all fairly recent things. I don't want to go too nostalgic because I think nostalgia adds to your aura because you think about, having never lost a game, never had a bad game in his life, Yeah. But Zidane, like, even as a manager, he just has it, doesn't he? He has that.
Yeah. The gif of him doing the finger thing after the goal.
Yeah. The San Siro.
Aura, but maybe not so much anymore.
I would say
aura is sliding.
It was a bit of a valley there. I think it's a new peak. I mean, 2 of the Milan teams got to the Champions League semi-final last year.
Yeah, there was big aura around that, but then the game was terrible.
But I think that they beat Napoli. Inter Milan. There must be some aura. There'll be some remnants of an aura at the San Siro still. Marquinhos, PSG.
Aura, no aura.
No aura. He's all
No
action,
aura.
isn't he? He's very athletic, successful player, but he doesn't have that aura.
No, I've never seen one of his fits.
That's true. Jose Mourinho.
Oh, huge aura.
Huge aura. Even still.
Aura merchant.
He is actually, in a way. He is a bit of an aura merchant. Maybe he has too much aura. So maybe that's all he has.
It's a good game. We should make this into a board game.
All right, okay. I'll have a few more. Sticking with Italy, Victor Osimhen. Tap-in merchant allegations recently, Will.
Can he overcome the tap-in merchant allegations? W aura because of the mask.
Yeah, the mask is pretty cool. He keeps it on, protective measures.
There's no way he still needs that.
No, but it's protective measures now. He feels if my face gets cracked open again, it might be ruined forever. So,
Yeah, no, the mask adds a lot of aura.
Okay. The Chelsea 2021 Champions League winning team.
No aura, aura.
Well, that was a quick one.
Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz and Timo
Mason
Werner.
Mount and Timo Werner. No aura to be seen.
They were the three to set up the goal. Yeah, crazy that none of those players are at the club anymore. That's how
did City lose that?
He dropped Fernandinho and Rodri in that game.
They should have won 10-0.
Yeah. Easy one in my opinion. Anfield.
Huge aura.
Huge aura in Anfield. It sucks that ball in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The man I just mentioned, bit unfair maybe, Kevin De Bruyne.
No aura.
Yeah, zero aura, Kevin. Sorry. You can keep the stats and the 5 Premier League medals and the Champions League, but you've got no aura, pal.
The Let Me Talk clip killed any semblance of aura.
Yeah, that was the end of his aura right there.
Yeah. Then he became a stat merchant.
Yes. Yogi Love.
No aura. No
aura. Zero aura.
Nose picking? No way.
The scratch and sniff guy, yeah, that's it.
Could never be my manager.
What happened to him, actually? I thought he'd get 2 jobs after that, but seemingly not. The Emirates Stadium.
Mid aura.
I don't know even if it's mid. I mean, when Arsenal are winning, they leave early to catch the tube. So, like that, there's no aura in a stadium. You don't leave a stadium with an aura like that. I don't care what the traffic situation is like. You hang on, you savor it, everyone says Highbury. You're losing Highbury was one of the worst things ever because just that had an aura, but
big aura, yeah.
Emirates is just too big, too empty. Not empty, but just there's a lot of space. It's too big, It's hard of a stadium like that. Like if you look at the stadiums with the biggest aura, it's the smaller stadiums, 9 times out of 10.
Smaller stadiums and like the Emirates, the name as well doesn't lend itself well, I think.
Yeah, Anfield. If it was the Sports Direct Anfield,
yeah, exactly.
Get out of here with that. It has to have that's it. All part of the aura. And finally, Real Madrid 2017,
a huge aura.
Probably the biggest one of the lot, I'd say.
Real Madrid, I'd say aura from day one. They every year they have the aura,
even when they're not playing well. It's just the players they have. But that team in particular, like you had Ramos, Ronaldo, Casemiro, Benzema, Vinicius. Like we had so much aura in that team. Carvajal, all of them, like just absolute winners. That's all I have so far, Will, on the aura. We might return if there's enough clamour for it, but I think that's just illustrates it's completely subjective and a bit of bollocks, a bit of fun. But as soon as your team wins the league, you'll stop that with aura. Speaking of win the league, Will, one or the other.
Choose your fighter.
He doesn't. He scores a goal every 2 games. He scores a goal every 2 games for Man United.
It doesn't.
It does. Do you want the stats?
Yeah. And then, Jimmy, let no one do anything about it. Let's take the passion out of it. Let's take the emotion out of it.
That's not passion, though.
That's emotion.
No. Yeah. You've had to go on the play before the break, though, Jamie. You've had blaming the play. You've had blaming the owners when players and performances like that.
Saunders sitting clear. Flamini was outstanding. He saw he had young good players.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean,
what you're talking about.
Or last week, we had a one or the other. Got a pretty decent response, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
We had Cole Palmer, Chelsea, and we had Anthony Gordon of Newcastle. Who would win the league first? Or who would win the league next? Cole Palmer obviously has a couple of leagues with City, but after their current clubs and their their abilities. Who would win the league next between those two players?
It was a close poll, very close again. All of our polls do tend to, the how much swaying in them, and 1 or 2 votes settles it.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good polls.
Cole Palmer, 54% of the vote. To Anthony Gordon's 46%.
Knew
so
it.
The majority think Cole Palmer.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I think I've already said that, but there you go.
You voted. I can see.
Well, I said it on air and on the vote. I wanted to double down on that.
Sarah also voted. That's interesting.
Who? I don't know who that is. I don't know what that's about.
I need you to go on Instagram.
Please. It's important. Look, I guess the people have spoken, Will. Whoever those people may be, they have spoken. This week, we have one for the nostalgia merchants out there. This week, it is Mo Salah and Arjen Robben.
Choose your fighter.
One a tapping merchant, one a cut inside merchant, as I've seen on X over the last few months. Very similar in a way. They were both at Chelsea, but would both go on to do better things at different clubs. Arjen Robben, of course, was from the Netherlands. I think he finished at his former club, Grogheim.
I remember we were looking at them.
Yeah, I think we were talking about on the show before. Yeah, he went from Groningen. Sorry, he went from Groningen to PSV Eindhoven, and from Eindhoven to Chelsea. To Chelsea for 3 years, and then he went to Real Madrid. Went to Real Madrid for 2 years. That was kind of the bad year. They didn't win a lot, I think. I think that was maybe... Did he win the league with David Beckham? Maybe he did.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, one of Real Madrid's really bad years where they only won one league. It was pretty embarrassing stuff. But then in 2009, he got the big move to Bayern Munich, and that's when his career was, just... It really took off and became, I think, undoubtedly one of the best players in the world. Won the Champions League, won the league numerous times. Bayern Munich. He had the run to the World Cup final, Netherlands, and he got memed. Remember that dive?
Yes.
I don't know if that was Americans who were like watching soccer for the first time, but they were not a fan of his antics in that World Cup. But like I say, from that point on, he would kind of solidify himself as one of the best players in the world. Salah, quite similarly, he started off at Mocha Walloon in Egypt, I'm assuming. From there to Basel, and then went to Chelsea. There, he went on loan to Fiorentina. He went on loan to Roma, which I think is where Liverpool found him. Saw him playing really well. He was on loan back and forth to Roma twice, actually, and then was sold to Roma. No, he went on loan to Roma and then was sold to Roma for 15 million. And I think that's where they got him, and they got Alisson as well. Liverpool did from Roma,
which seems mad to think.
yeah. The two players that really changed their team's fortune. They both came from Roma. He also got memed. You don't win friends with Salah. And he had that shot that went out of the corner flag, and it just became thing every time he touched the ball. You don't win friends with Salah, and he would go on to just be one of the greatest players in the Premier League history. Not long after that. So both left-footed, both play in the wing, both get a lot of goals and assists. But you know what? It's we're talking about vibes, we're talking about aura, we're talking about all that stuff. Don't want to go with the stats too much. One or the other. Who are you picking to go into your team today? You can have Salah at his peak, wherever, 2017, whatever, or you can have Arjen Robben. Which one are you picking to go on your team?
I think I'm going with Salah.
Yeah.
I think Salah over the last few years, it's a weird one as well, because everyone knows he's obviously unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it seems like with every record that he smashes, especially for Liverpool,
you
nearly feel like, is he are people not talking about Salah enough? Like, he's just like clear in all of these all-time Liverpool legends. You used to hear like almost like mythical figures like fucking Rush and all these people.
Rush and Fowler and all these top goals.
And he's just smashing their records. He's coming up to 200 goals for Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's rare you see that in this day and age, in the Premier League especially, where a player comes, has the impact, and then rises all the way to like one of the top players in the history of the club.
Yeah, like it is a thing with players from older generations, even someone like Aaron Robben, who didn't play at his peak that long ago, but everything now is overanalyzed, and every mistake you make is put up on Twitter like immediately. And like stuff like that came out in Firmino's book that him and Mane didn't get on. That's happened to so many players over the years. It's like they don't get on. They didn't get on the pitch, but they played well together. And it's like it's a footnote. But now those quotes are taken on Twitter. They're talked about on podcasts. Conspiracies are now confirmed. Like everything's so much more overanalyzed. Whereas in time, I think you look back on Salah and it'll be like he never had a bad game. I think when you look back at roasting the glass on him,
Yeah.
But now when you're in it, it's like it's like the Ange Postecoglu thing. It's all great till he does against your team, and now it's a big fucking problem. Now I'm trying to lessen this guy's aura. He's a tapping merchant. He doesn't pass. He's selfish. All he does is score goals. But I think they look back and they go, that was a special time to have him there. But
yeah,
I think the only thing you'd hold against Aaron Robben is that he did it at Bayern Munich and he did it internationally as well. But I guess not doing it at a league that wasn't he did a very dominant team, is what I'm saying. He obviously did the Champions League. I mean, I remember that goal he scored against Man United, which was unbelievable. Him and Rubry on that team, just unbelievable two players for Bayern Munich at that time. So I don't know, I think Salah, like I say, probably doesn't get the respect he deserves. Robben, I don't know the stats, but I would say he didn't score anywhere near as many goals as Salah did, but he's much more of a creator, maybe. Yeah, I think he got a lot of assists, but he was just so deadly coming in on the left side. Everyone knew what he was going to do, Will. Everyone in the world knew what he was going to do next, but he could do it every time.
One of the biggest cliches in football is that he's so good. You know what he's doing, but you can't stop him. I feel like he invented that.
Gareth Bale used that as well towards the end of Tottenham, where he was like, I'm just going to score goals, because I know that's what Real Madrid love. I'm just going to start scoring goals and cutting in his life. I was like,
whistle me if I score.
Just every single time. So yeah, I don't know. I think for longevity, I might go for Robben, because you know that he's going to last a long time if he goes to your team. But you can't go wrong either way. I'm going to go Robben. You go Salah. But now time for you, the fans at home. The audience, you'll have your vote on this. I'll put up a graphic on Instagram again, and let us know what you think, either in the comments, direct messages, or just on the online poll, and we'll discuss it next week.
Choose your fighter.
We were speaking of aura there.
Yeah, we were.
I think one of the biggest auras in the history of football is, of course, Lionel Messi, especially Barcelona Lionel Messi. A little tidbit came out from an interview with Todibo, he used to play for Barcelona, and he came out with something which isn't surprising, but it's mad to think. And the more I thought about it, the funnier it became to me. So he was talking about his time at Barcelona, and he was telling stories of what it used to be like training with Messi. And he said, at Barcelona, they didn't allow us to touch Messi in training, obviously for fear of injury.
Yeah.
He says, it sounds crazy, but it's true. We had to be so careful. No touching allowed. Now, could you imagine it's training, you're doing like a 5-a-side game or something like that, and Messi's on the other team, and you're not allowed to touch him? How frustrating would that hour be?
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine there probably wasn't much touching.
No.
It wasn't full contact. Let's try and do match intensity here the day before the game. Maybe this guy's taken out of context. I don't know. But I mean, that would be, if everyone else was doing full contact and then Messi would get the ball, everyone would freeze and just walk around him.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
He can make someone look like a small child if he wants. You don't want to treat him like a small child. I mean, he's better than everybody. I mean, I don't know why that would be the case.
Yeah, I love the idea of the ball goes to Messi and then everyone goes, let him score, I suppose. Everyone clear the way.
And he's just running around, people in circles with the ball, ha 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 ha, nutmegging over and back. Come on, you can't get. I was yeah,
I hate this guy.
Contractually, we can't get you. Yeah, no, you're right there, Lionel. Ha ha ha.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama. This is a shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
Because he was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all the
Plenty of
time.
airtime, no problem.